3 minutes.
Live streaming is on.
That took very long.
Amazing.
We can start, I guess.
Okie dokie. So I may start if you don't mind. So basically, as you guys know, I've been super busy this week, putting down some ideas for how we could work a bit better. And a lot of it is around this dev call, actually. So it's kind of like the main driver is to kind of put the onus on each of us individually to sort our shit out before we get here. And in that way, we don't end up struggling through this big mess of a board together. And yeah, I mean, one way we could do this is that each of us takes control and shares their screen and talks about their tickets. Or we could try with one person doing it either if that doesn't work. I kind of feel like it would be nice if each of us could do that, because if we were in the same room together, like that's probably how we would do it. So I recently figured out how to pass moderator rights around. I mean, I guess you guys know how to do that already. So we could try that if you like. No strong objections. Okay. Well, I'm happy to start. So yeah, I mean, I was also proposing that like, so the way it could work is that like, I mean, we give updates normally anyway, right? But like the only difference is that we give updates and we also talk about our tickets at the same time. And I think it might be to try just as we start to talk, to just talk about what we think is going well, what we think is going badly, and what we're concerned about. Just to kind of open up that kind of communication channel a bit more. So my updates are mostly that I've been doing this kind of shit and trying to get all of the urgent fixes ready to go live this week. And I think that's going pretty well. I feel like we have things better under control. I also feel like positive feedback from everybody, which is good. So it means everybody is seeing some kind of improvements and happy about that, I believe, anyway. And what's going badly? I don't want to talk about anything going badly. I'm a little bit concerned that we would like to get too much in by the 1st of March. There's some kind of like tension between like getting functionality in and actually getting something out. I'm not super concerned about it, I would say. I feel a little bit more of an overhead also technically dealing with the extra dev environment. Like we have the dev and the staging and the master situations now. So there's been some struggle with, not struggle, but some getting used to, I would say, mentally for me and Matteo at least. And what am I worried about? I have some concerns that like that there may be some frustration among some people that's not really like being voiced or not really. Yeah, I think like in terms of like marketing and in terms of other things, like I have some concerns, but nothing too crazy. Anyway, I leave it there. Maybe I said too much already, basically. So I will try and share my screen. How do I do that? Do I need moderator rights first, or do I have that already?
No, nobody needs moderator rights. You just share your screen.
Okay, cool.
That's just needed for the live stream, which works now. Yeah.
Hurrah. Okay, are we good?
Yep, looks great.
So I will filter by my name on the board, and this shows all the tickets that I'm working on. There's two milestones in play essentially. Like the one is the fast track, which is our post-Valentine's hangover, and essentially it's mostly around the bug that Marco found. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to help to open that, but essentially that I believe you may have navigated away or something, Marco, or somehow like it just didn't show up for you. So I am working on a fix for that right now. What I'm doing is, as soon as somebody makes a donation, we put a record in the database immediately before we do anything else. And once that's happened, then we make the request, we send the transaction to the blockchain. And that means that if anything happens and that fails, we have a record in the database saying this person tried to make this donation. And when the transaction returns like successfully, or at least like we get a message back saying that there's a pending transaction on the blockchain, then we would update that record in the database to say transaction pending. And then once the transaction is complete and gone through, then we would update it again in the database to say, okay, complete, done, basically. So that's my approach on it. I'm still in the middle of it right now. Yeah, I'm doing some refactoring on the way, and I hope to finish it in the next 24 hours or so, basically. For me, that's the first two tickets here. Basically, they're the same thing, and both are on the fast track. Mateo's already finished this fast track stuff, like the post-Valentine's hangover stuff. So I kind of had this idea in mind that we could like put that live on Friday or something, depending on testing. I don't know, we can discuss that afterwards, I guess. But yeah, so that's the fast track stuff, the first two tickets. So then I have these other ones, right? Like create the concept of a project status, and the build optimization is connected also. And both of those are connected to the server-side rendering. So these three tickets are all around the same thing, and they're all around server-side rendering. And all of these changes are currently on the dev environments. They will not go to staging until after we're clear with the urgent things, essentially. So these are kind of in progress. They're kind of sort of done, but they're low priority right now while we do the urgent things and get them live. So they will go live as a part of the next full sprint, the Giveth to the Future 1 sprint, which is scheduled for the 1st of March. And this Giveth to the Future 1 sprint is essentially the big go live with bang, tell all your friends sprint, basically. And then the only other ticket I have is to install Sentry properly on the DApp and the GraphQL server. That's also part of the sprint. And just to separate, at the moment, we're sending errors to Sentry from both the DApp and from the impact graph, but we just send them together into the same place. And I want to split them so that we have two different places.
Allow donations in other cryptocurrencies, as it had like a lot of hype around it. You guys want it really, so let's do that first, because I believe that can be really important. We've even said that it's a critical feature, so it's a bit long, but I just made some investigation around it, and I don't believe that it's going to mean much of a problem. So I'm going to begin with that, and after that, okay, I forgot to mention one that gets me a little bit worried. This one of the image, because I couldn't replicate it in any way. I just can't. So,
is there a way for me to record my screen while I go through the steps so that you could see what happens while I do it, or what would be helpful as far as the testing? Because even now, when I try to change the images, anything under 1 megabyte, it won't load it.
okay. If you have a Mac, I know QuickTime has a record, so you can try that out. If you're in Windows, I'm not sure what software, or Linux even, I don't know. But at least for Mac, QuickTime can do that, screen recording, and you can get that done. But it's not completely neat, because I'm sure what you are doing is only setting the image there. What I'm most interested in the console. So whatever happens in that, I would like to see the log. I'm not sure if James taught you how to do that. Is inspect element and whatever is in there.
Maybe the easiest way is if we actually, one of us does it with Ashley, like where she shares her screen and then goes through it. You know what I
agree.
mean?
Yeah, and I can try to like create a new project and do it again, because that happened when I first created the project, and then anytime I try to go in and edit the image, it does the same thing. But I can try a new project and see if it happens, or show you just on the current one I've already. created. I'm not sure what's the best approach.
Cool. Well, I'm happy to do it with you. So maybe after this, we can talk and figure out a good time to go through it together.
Okay.
Thank you, James. So yeah, basically it's that one. I am actually assigned to that. So if you find anything, you can tell me, or at least show me the log on that. So yeah, I think that I don't want to. I want to make this more organized, as James had made a really great effort to organize this board. So for now, in progress, I want to keep what I am really working. So I don't want to put many stuff in there. So as soon as I am done with something, or if something is unfinished, I am trying to leave at least a note, so if anyone see that issue can check on the latest status or something like that. And when I'm done with this, I'm planning to start working on the profile integration with Treebox. There is a lot of discussion around that, and I have a question or at least some kind of debate that I want to start. Because I feel that we should detach as much information we can from the user, and Treebox allows us to do that properly with their identity system. So we could already handle the image picture, the profile picture, as we are already doing with the images of the project. We are saving it to Piñata, and we use it there. But I don't believe that that would solve completely the issue, because verification and the profile should be a lot more complex than that. And if we handle that using Treebox, I guess that we solve the problem completely. So one way to solve the issue of uploading the profile picture is just use a method like we are doing with Piñata. But I would like to do it with Treebox instantly. I don't know what you guys think.
It sounds great if it's doable. I mean,
Yeah.
it's great to just do the best thing, right? First, and not mess around and waste time with the other stuff. But I mean, it depends how big it is. Like maybe you want to like put some work into assessing the size of it or something.
Yeah, I've been investigating. So what I see so far is that we create some kind of box for Giveth, and the user that already has an identity in Treebox, if he does, we have to assign one. We have to sign some login or some authentication using the Treebox profile. And after that, all the information, the verifications of the social networks, the profile picture, and that will be handled through Treebox, and we would just fetch that information. If that information is not, we pressure the user to update it and fill it completely. So yeah, that's what I will be working after the multi cryptocurrencies donation happen. I think that's it. Who's next?
I can go. Just let me finish this issue here. I should have done this before, like James said. But yeah, I had a busy day, sorry. So we'll be more prepared next time. Let me share my screen. And I actually have to go to the board. I'm on two computers, so that's why it's open in the other one, but not here. Okay, let's see. When I hum like this, my daughter always says, "Papa, don't sing." So sad. All right, here we go. So this one I wanted to ask Ashley. I would like to take this over again, because I saw that you have, this is about the FAQ, and I saw that you said you had problems importing it to Contentful. So
I wasn't really having problems with the Contentful. The problem was that I just needed it to get reviewed. But I feel like at this point it's been reviewed, and I feel good about moving forward with it. But if you want to take it back, that's fine too.
There is another reason. We have those limited spaces on the Contentful, and we share it with the common stack. And I got a ping from Jeff, who is a main contributor over there, and he cannot edit their FAQ because they don't have any seats left. So I'm kind of trying to get another seat back for the common stack. And I definitely should stay on there because I do so much admin. So I could take Griff's, yours, or Dani's, and I don't know if you didn't get like too accustomed to it yet. I would take yours, so just to move quick, and so I can give that to Jeff if that's okay. And
Yeah, that's fine.
I will because I also can review what's there in the FAQ while I put it in. So
Right.
I will do those two. Okay, so let me. Ashley, see to Jeff. Okay, import to Contentful. All right. And because that will also clear it from you guys. So it's only mine, because James did a very good thing. He said there should be multiple assigned people. Yeah, I'll let it stay here in progress because I will do it quite right away. For segment, let me see that my picture did not load because segment is crazy. So I did, Willie invited me. I set up Giveth as a source, but the way segment works is actually, let me show you. It's actually not replacing analytics. What you do is you connect something like this is our site, and we can give it a destination. And the destination just means that it will track whatever we want and send it on to whatever we want. And if we look at analytics, these are our options. That's why I show you guys. It's just crazy. There's everything here. And this is, of course, too much like, yeah, we just need one. So again, I would like to hear maybe in this issue, what would you guys prefer, if there are any preferred things that we use. I think we should use either Google Analytics straight away or Matomo, because Matomo we can set up as a service for ourselves, which would be quite cool to have running. Because if we do that, then yeah, the data of our users always stays within our hands, so to say. We do send it on to Segment, and Segment sends it on to our server. Yeah, I don't know even how important that is to everybody, but I put it out there. So if I get any feedback, I will consider it. If I don't get any feedback, I will just decide for myself which one to take.
I mean, I guess ideally we should figure out what we want to know, right? And then take the most simple solution that's the least work.
It's a bit strange with analytics, right? Like they are all very comparable to each other. So I wouldn't say there's too much difference.
Yeah.
And yeah, so in that sense, that's why I said Matomo. The thing I like about that is that you can run your own service and you don't depend on other people's services. And to me, that is preferable from a user standpoint, because they already trust Giveth with their data, and it kind of stays with Giveth. It worked now in my issue. I was able to put in the full list here as a screenshot. It's just crazy. So if anybody wants to go like have a look, and maybe you spot something that you really liked, I only have experience with Google Analytics.
I know that Kissmetrics is super cool, but I think it's probably super expensive. I think if Willie has got a preference or like has used this, maybe he uses with something, I don't know. Google Analytics I've used loads of, but it's so complicated, I would say. Like, I think the best tool is the one we would actually use, right? Like for me personally, I think it would be great to know how many people are coming to our website, like where they're coming from, just basic stuff, right? Like where do people fall off? do we have problems somewhere? I mean, that's kind of nice to have even. I would say to launch, like, it would just be great to have some kind of any metric at all as to
Yes.
what, like, who's coming. So
So
whatever's quickest, I would say, or whatever you're most
Okay.
used to, or whatever is easiest. I don't know.
All right, so I might start just with Google Analytics to have something, because that's what we always used. It was active until we replaced the homepage. So until last Monday, we do have analytics. I can pull them up, and I can go through it with somebody, or can appoint a manager. But like you said, James, I can look at the analytics. I can assess stuff like, hey, our users are 90% desktop, and they are 70% from the United States or whatever. So this kind of analytics I can do, but anything further is really, it's a full-on job. Like data analytics is a full-on job, and with its own knowledge.
Yeah. Cool. I agree.
All right. So this is one I still want to do. I will put this in the backlog. This is for the automate database backups. I don't feel there is too. I did already put it in the backlog. I think it's not too much work, but it's because I don't do much Node programming. That kind of held me off a little. But I will dive into this for this week. I wouldn't say it's critical for launch. I mean, I think it's critical for launch. Should I put in there? We should.
Yeah, I mean, we can also
database
just do it
backups.
manually, right? Every morning, just do a database dump until we have it up. God, we don't want to do that though, no?
The cron job is not the big problem. The big problem is really to have something like an established, we back up and we can restore, and we feel safe with that. And then you mentioned migrations, so we might. I will do it in different tiers. So what I want to have first is just the database backup, so we have them, and we can deal with more. Okay, and then we'll start with backup only for Giveth one, or is that still post Valentine's? For post Valentine's. All right.
Yeah.